इज इट ट्रू कि फ़ोन हमारी बातें सुनता है? मैं जाके एयरपोर्ट वाईफ़ाई यूज़ कर रहा हूँ, तो मेरा जो सारा डेटा है मेरे मोबाइल में, इज़ इट गॉन टू समवन एल्स ऑलरेडी? इज़ इट सेफ और इज़ इट नॉट सेफ? साइबर सिक्योरिटी इज़ द होल डिवाइस एंड नो, साइबर सिक्योरिटी इज़ वेरी ईज़ी। जैसे कि एग्ज़ाम्पल, आज मैं गया किसी वेबसाइट पे, राइट? मैंने अमेज़न से एक मॉनिटर बाय किया। वो अमे सिर्फ़ अमेज़न के पास वो इन्फो रहेगा, वो किसी और के पास ना जाए, दैट्स व्हाट यू प्रोटेक्ट?
One of the things.
One of the things, okay.
Similarly, when you're making a payment when you're scanning a QR code on any of the payment services, right? Now, that QR code is nothing but a URL. If a link, right? It's a link. So, using that link, I can redirect you to any website. So there can be, I think there is a QR code which will redirect you to a scam website.
So this guy actually being in CIA under the Obama administration, this guy exposes. So let's take an example. मेरा एक लैपटॉप चालू है, उसमें सिर्फ नेट चालू है, only net is on. अपने लैपटॉप ऐसे ही छोड़ा हुआ है. Anybody can hack into your computer and see through the camera lens without the light hitting. मेरे घर पे वाईफाई है, मैं एक पॉर्न वेबसाइट पे जा रहा हूँ, मैं एक चेस वेबसाइट पे जा रहा हूँ और मैं एक अमेज़न की वेबसाइट पे जा रहा हूँ कुछ खरीदने के लिए। मेरे वाईफाई यूज़र को वो चीज़ पता चली, फुल हिस्ट्री के साथ।
My name is Vishal.
Okay.
And I'm the CEO of a company called Seclor. Seclor is a data-centric security company, and I'll explain that a little more as we go through the podcast. But it's basically a company which works with some of the largest enterprises in the world and secures these enterprises against data breaches, data thefts, and so on. Very lucky to have been a part of the company from the start. I'm one of the founders, and as watching the company as it grows, 12, 13 years in existence. So it's been a very good journey. Thank you. Yeah. So that's how I describe myself.
Sorted intro आपको बहुत. But so tell me, टुडे हम लोग बहुत साइबर सिक्योरिटी, हम लोग एक रेगुलर मोबाइल से क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करता है एक नॉर्मल पर्सन, हम लोग उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. बट उससे पहले हम लोग आपकी एक स्टोरी पे आते हैं. From IIT Bombay to a founder, right? How has the journey been for you?
It's been a very exhilarating journey here.
Okay.
So the company started from within the IIT Bombay incubation program.
Okay.
Such, right? So I didn't have to go too far away from home and alma mater to start the company. And if you go back far enough, Seclor was at some point of time finally a thesis of a student, right? And the institute itself looks at technologies which are coming in from students or faculty members or alumni and so on. And if it finds that the technology is commercially viable, then the institute invests in these companies effectively, right? Provides incubation facilities, provides a whole host of facilities, and so on. So Sector is one of those companies. We were very lucky to have been housed within the IIT Bombay campus for the first many years. And then, of course, over a period of time, the company has grown, raised another, more rounds of capital and so on. And now companies has local presence in most parts of the world.
Okay, that are?
Which are North America. We have a couple of offices, Germany, the UK. Middle East is a very strong region for us. We are there, as well as Dubai and Egypt. And of course, in India, we have a couple of locations.
Why do you think, when you were studying for this company, why did you actually think that cyber security is a bada problem बन जाएगा to the world?
Actually, उस टाइम ऑलरेडी बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था. 2011-12 के अराउंड जब हम स्टार्ट करे थे कंपनी, even over there, data breaches were very common. Awareness about data theft and data breaches was low, but it was very common, right? So we didn't have to take a leap of imagination or faith that this is something that will become big in the future. It was already pretty big at that time. But we were convinced that what we were doing, which is trying to protect the data instead of the device or the network or application, I'll talk more about that. I think that conviction was very strong. And that's the reason we started the company. And of course, what has happened is in the last 10, 12 years, the problem of security and therefore the solutions available in the market and how well they are adopted and so on has increased exponentially. Like cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing spaces for enterprises specifically. And if you look at enterprise technology, cybersecurity and compliance is one of the fastest growing spaces.
So tell me, एक बच्चा जो आईआईटी बॉम्बे में कैसे घुसा, वो जर्नी क्या थी, मतलब वो जर्नी कैसे थी, मतलब बिकॉज फॉर टेरिबल स्टडीज में he can't even imagine getting a 90% also. So cracking to IIT Bombay, how that was a journey? Was it tough? IIT में घुसना is
यार उस टाइम आई एम वन ऑफ द नॉर्मली स्टोरीज होती हैं कि you know parents laid down only two options, either you have to become a doctor or an engineer, right, and so on, and therefore kids are forced into these professions and therefore they become either a doctor or an engineer, right, and so on, right. And I know you're significantly younger than me, but still that is the story that's been going around for the last 20 years. I may be one of the rare examples where I always wanted to become an engineer. I was always interested in science. I always wanted to become an engineer. And fast forward 25, 30 years, I don't feel that my parents pushed me into this direction. Right? If they had left it free fall, I would have still done the same thing. Right? So in that sense, I was lucky. And I mean, to answer your question, it was IIT Bombay itself was not the goal, but to do and excel in engineering was definitely the goal. And that started from very early on. So if I get toys as a kid, when I used to get toys, I was more interested in pulling them apart than playing with them, and then putting them back together, right, and so on. So any toy or any device, toasters to microwave ovens and so on, everything has been broken apart, right, and sometimes at the risk of some real bad events happening at home. I couldn't put it back, and then my dad used to come and say, "You took the toaster apart and we took the microwave apart," right, and so on.
ransom वगैरह रहेगा थोड़ा.
So I'm like, yeah. So everything was pulled apart. As soon as I saw something new, I wanted to peek inside. Hey, what is inside this house?
इसको मैं उड़ा गया क्या?
हाँ, exactly.
That's crazy यार, मतलब स्टार्टिंग से ही वो पैशन था इंजीनियरिंग का.
Yeah. Right from as far back as I can remember.
This is a real life ransom story, मतलब.
Yeah. I don't know. That may be a little stretch because I didn't stick to, well, in some sense, I'm still sticking to engineering. This is a very, very technically complex problem we are trying to solve and so on. But in terms of core engineering, I don't do that as a CEO of the company. I don't get to do that very often nowadays. We've got a very strong engineering team of, 150, 200 people who do a great job of building and managing the product.
So when you came to IIT Bombay, what were the things that you were able to learn? Because मैंने ना एक बहुत कॉमन चीज़ देखी है जो मेरे को लिंक्डइन पे पता चलती है. गोल्डमैन सैक्स, बेन, BCG एंड people from IITs and IIMs. ये 4-5 चीज़ें इधर से अगर काम करके निकला, एक सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना ही है. ये चीज़ मैंने thousands and thousands of examples देखी है. I don't know why that I see that, and my brother keeps sending me these examples and starts making me jealous because I can't crack it, right? So ऐसा क्या सिखाया जाता है कि आपको एक सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने में बहुत ही इजी वे मिल जाता है? ऐसा क्या सपोर्ट दिया जाता है their parents?
Yeah, I see. I'll argue both ways. Which is, see, the facilities and the teaching staff and the environment and so on at IITs is great. It's a great place to learn. If you're truly interested in anything, there is a way in IIT that you can, IIT Bombay specifically, that you can learn that thing.
Okay.
Right. Having said that, the reason why IITians become very, very successful in general, and once they go through this, this rigor, they become even more successful, is because of the entrance exam. So it's the entrance exam that does the most amount of service to the IITs, right? So if you see the entrance exam at IITs, and now, I mean, I'm talking about the entrance exam as it existed 20 years ago, but if you look at the entrance exam at IIT, it is very good at sorting out people who are genuinely interested in the science, right? And away from the people who have been, generally speaking, pushed into this direction by some other force, right? And therefore, what happens in the starting class of IIT, you're already getting people who are genuinely interested in engineering or science or whatever applied sciences, theoretical sciences, and so on. And once you start off that with that base, there's not much that you can go wrong with, right? After that, even if you have mediocre facilities and mediocre staff and so on, and IIT Bombay has the best facilities and the best staff and the best labs and so on, but I think the entry class itself is so good that after that, things have to just statistically things have to go right.
Yes.
It's almost like you take a jar of milk and you take only the cream of that thing and you take it out, then उससे तो घी निकलेगा ना, उससे और क्या होगा, मलाई निकाल लोगे तो घी निकलेगा उसमें, right? And so on. I'm not trying to be self-complimentary over here, but only to say that yes, IITs have done a really good job at selecting people who are genuinely interested in the craft.
Okay. Incubation और ये जो idea है secular कैसा है?
The incubation itself at IIT Bombay is a 25-year-old phenomenon. Started in about 1999, and the idea was to prevent brain drains. The original idea was prevent brain drains, but it became wildly successful beyond that objective too. Right? So the idea was, hey, instead of people from India going and starting companies in the US or in other parts of the world and being wildly successful, why can't the IITs create an environment here in India for those same people or more people to become successful and set up enterprises here? Right? And to that goal, I think the IIT Bombay Incubator, it's a SIGN, it's called SIGN stands for Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, has been wildly successful. I might be off, but I would guess in the region of 200 to 300 companies have come out of the incubator at this stage. And a lot of companies, if not most, have been wildly successful. Right? So that's one
way to put it.
That's one way. And in the sense that besides solving for the original entrepreneurship development goal, it has also been a very good jump board for a lot of students and faculty members to actually launch great companies. Right? So that's the incubation story. The secular story is that at the time secular started and what we are doing today is we are doing today exactly what we said we were doing at the time we started the company. Which is very rare because companies over a period of time pivot, they figure out that their thesis was not right, or the market they have to make changes, fundamental changes to adapt to the market and so on. In our case, we've been doing exactly what we said we will be doing 12 years ago, right? And so on. And it's just that the market is coming to us, right? What we said will happen is actually happening, and therefore we don't need to do anything extra, right? We're just doing that, which is provide in a way for enterprises, large enterprises, to protect their data irrespective of the
Okay. मेरी एक चीज बताइए, अभी ये मेरे दिमाग में फैक्ट्स है और मैंने ये कई जगहों से ये फैक्ट्स अपने लिए कलेक्ट किए हुए हैं. टेल मी हाउ मच ऑफ इट इज ट्रू. इसके ऊपर एक सीरीज भी है, वी कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट एज वेल. सो इन यूएस, एंड मैं भी खुद यूएस प्रोसेस के लिए काम करता हूँ. इन यूएस पीपल कॉल इंडियंस एज स्कैमर्स. हाउ मच ऑफ इट इज ट्रू? बिकॉज यूएस has Asians से स्कैम होते हैं. इट्स जस्ट नॉट इंडियन, लेकिन एक एशियंस का जो कंसेप्ट है उनसे बहुत स्कैम्स होते हैं वहाँ पे जो यूएस में हो. श्योर, हाउ मच ऑफ इट इज ट्रू? बिकॉज एंड जब स्कैम्स होते हैं, सो देयर इज दिस यूट्यूब चैनल जिधर दिस गाय लिटरली, you have seen this series called Jamtara, right?
Right.
Okay. These guys call.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're talking about the same thing, but go ahead.
So these guys call, and इनका ये लोग literally locations बताते हैं कि these guys are located in Kolkata through maps, and real names pop out where they literally scam out Western countries. So why एक वो tag लग गया हम लोग पे, वो क्यों?
See, not all Indians or not all Asians are scammers, but most scammers are Indians or Asians, right? So the other way around. So it's not that this tag has come generally. There's a reason. There's data behind it, right, and so on. And a lot of this has to do with not. I don't think India contributes in a meaningful way, but Southeast Asia, countries from, let's say, China at the northern end of that region, and maybe Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia being at the lower, right? That belt of countries, if you see, most, if not all, scams originate from these places, right? Today, if you see, you'll get calls about some parcel being stuck,
Okay.
right? Or that some of your relative has been arrested, right? And you need to pay money, or your income tax filing has not been done right? And these are the most common scams that are running nowadays. Most, if not all, of these have originated in Southeast Asia. And the reason for that is that there is a whole ecosystem which has built over there. To start with, the countries themselves have started developing these skill sets so then they can fight information warfare with the US, for example, or the UK, or at Western countries. And once these ecosystems develop, then obviously then they go and bite, the local geography itself. Right?
So now people in today's world say ki it's not the time of war and it's the time of cybercrime. How much of that is true?
Absolutely, it is true. I mean, most wars where undercover are being fought with cyber.
कैसे होते हैं cyber crimes? How exactly?
Yeah, it's like a million different ways, right? I don't know if you read about these exploding pagers that
Oh yeah, that happened with Israel and Hamas, right?
right, or in that conflict, right, and so on. Now that's directly a result of cybercrime. For anybody to get pagers to explode remotely, right, you need to be able to hack into a lot of systems to make it happen, right? And that was done, using a series of hacking techniques, right? Social engineering, hacking, and of course physical breaches. Like there had to be explosives deployed at some stage.
Have you watched this movie called Snowden?
I watched the documentary. Is that what you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this guy, actually being in CIA under the Obama administration, this guy exposes. So let's take an example. मेरा एक लैपटॉप चालू है, उसमें सिर्फ नेट चालू है. Only net is on. अपने लैपटॉप ऐसे ही छोड़ा हुआ है. Anybody can hack into your computer and see through that camera lens without that light getting on. That's how crazy was. And this guy is still alive, and Putin has decided this in his country.
Right.
So then undercover, security, CIA and institutions like Mossad, do this and hack into your computers and, get so many data breaches. And that happened same जिसमें India को बहुत सारी Chinese companies को ban करना पड़ा था because बहुत सारे data breaches हो रहे थे. So कितना affect करता है वो, मतलब in a very geopolitically आप जब बात करते हो कितना वो affect करता है country to country में, because you have so much people का data. एक आदमी कैसे, मतलब क्या खा रहा है, उसका क्या बिहेवियरल एस्पेक्ट्स है, वो सारी चीजें अफेक्ट करेगी. सो जब आप किसी का बिहेवियर जान देते हो, एक पर्सन का व्हाट इट इज कंज्यूमिंग, कौन से ऐप पे जा रहा है, सो वो कैसे अफेक्ट करता है एज अ पर्सन, बिकॉज ये बहुत सारे अटैक्स हुए 2020 में.
Yeah, there are many different reasons for people to engage in hacking, right? It could be geopolitics, right? So, for example, country A wants to figure out what country B is doing, right? That could be one reason, right, to engage in this. The other reason could be money. I want to hack into a bank so I can transfer money to myself or whatever, right? So money is a big driver. Nowadays, personal vendettas are also big drivers, right? I want to be able to see your emails or a person's Instagram or for WhatsApp or email or whatever other digital footprint, right? And so on. So there are various ways, and based on that, the different amounts of infrastructure is available. So the most equipped set of people are the ones who are doing this for geopolitics, because then the nation itself is supporting you, right? So, for example, if India and Pakistan are at war, then the government of Pakistan will support people who might help them to get into India's digital infrastructure, right? And so on. And that's a lot of resources. The government has a lot of resources at its disposal. Just under that is money-driven crime, right? Which is money-driven. Which is, hey, I want to be able to transfer a lot of money from somebody else's account to my account, or I want to be able to get people to transfer money to me, and so on, right? So all of these social engineering things that you see, where you get a call, your dad gets a card saying your son has been arrested, right? Or your mom gets a call saying, some parcel is stuck, or your income tax is not paid, or there's a police case against you, or whatever, right? You might get a call for any of those things, right? That's next, right? Because that will allow the person who's running it to get money, right? And so on. Then the next thing right after that is, if there are personal vendettas. I want to harm somebody, right? My ex-girlfriend, my boss, right? Some family member or a friend or whatever, right? Some or a business rival, right? And so on. Those are the least equipped guys, right? And so on. So it's almost in order of the amount of support that is available, starting with geopolitics and ending with personal vendetta.
Is it true कि phone हमारी बातें सुनता है? Because and how safe is iPhone in those terms? Because iPhone अपने आप को the most secured phone के नाम से बेचता है. And क्योंकि मेरे साथ बहुत बार होता है कि मैं कुछ चीज़ के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ, एक commodity के बारे में, and bam, it shows up to my website. And वो मेरे ads में अपने आप आ जाता है. So ये एक दो बार नहीं हुआ है मेरे साथ, ये बहुत बार हुआ है. Then the phone listens to you. How much of it is true, and how exactly is that possible?
So the phone is listening to you is 100% true.
How? कैसे यार?
What do you mean? The microphone is always on.
Okay.
It's very simple. I mean, the operating system itself there's a microphone on every device, right? Your phone has a microphone, your computer has a microphone, right? And so on. And if the operating system itself is such that the operating system can listen in or keep the microphone on, even though you're not on a call or you're not on a recording or whatever, then the phone will listen in and scribe everything that you're saying and send it back home. Right? So that's 100% true. It's true for all phones. It's almost irrespective of make and model and all of that. Right? Because there's very valuable data which can help advertisers advertise a good experiment for that is that you just keep your phone around the house and start talking about things that you would never otherwise talk about. Like, for example, let's say you don't have anything to do with mountain bikes, right? And for a day or two, just when you're around your phone, start talking about mountain bikes.
So ये sorry to cut you out, but ये इंटरनेट चालू करने के बाद आप बोल रहे हो जब मैं बात करूँगा, right?
नहीं इंटरनेट बंद में भी
वो भी मतलब वो सुन सकता है,
वो सुन सकता है एंड वो लोकली स्टोर करके फिर ट्रांसमिट करेगा, या अगर इंटरनेट पे है तो डायरेक्ट से ट्रांसमिट करेगा, राइट? एंड सो ऑन. So start talking about a topic that you would otherwise never talk about, right? In this example, mountain bikes. Or you can talk about the political situation in Argentina, for example, right? A topic which you would never otherwise discuss, or there's no digital footprint for that. And you will see in the next 2 or 3 days when you go to website or whatever, you'll start seeing ads. related to that.
उसको बंद कर सकते हैं?
कुछ डिवाइस में होती है फंक्शनैलिटी where you can turn the microphone or audio access off.
Like,
I definitely know that most Android phones you can do that. I'm not so sure about like Samsung phones have this functionality where you can turn the audio device physically off, not through software and so on. So it is possible.
okay. अगर मैं सिर्फ लोकेशन ऑन रखता हूँ, उसकी क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है? व्हेन आई से सिर्फ मैं लोकेशन ऑन रख रहा हूँ, कैसे मैं ट्रेसेबल हो जाता हूँ? व्हेन आई से ट्रेसेबल हो जाता हूँ, हाउ इजी इट इज इट फॉर एनी either a terrorisable organization or either a hacking organization or either a genuine organization, इतना easily मैं trackable हो जाता हूँ? How does that service work कि मैं track कर में अपने आप आ जाता हूँ? How does that work?
See, it depends on the level of accuracy.
Okay.
At the level of accuracy of a cell tower, you are visible all the time. So, for example, if you have a phone connection from some company, then that company at any point of time can figure out which cell tower are you connected to. Right? So, like if you live in Bandra, in a particular area in Bandra, in that area in Bandra, there will be a cell tower. So the nearest cell tower के आसपास हो, that information is pretty widely available to telecom companies and so on. Right? Now, within that area, exactly where you are, which building and which latitude, longitude, and so on, that only your phone knows. So that the cell tower doesn't know. So now the phone itself knows its location, and there are various ways in which that location can be transmitted back to the service provider, right? Like the operating system guys, or various apps can use that location, even though the positioning is off. Crazy है, but is there.
यार डरा रहे हो आप मेरे को? मेरे घर पे वाईफाई है, मैं एक पॉर्न वेबसाइट पे जा रहा हूँ, मैं एक चेस वेबसाइट पे जा रहा हूँ, और मैं एक अमेजोन की वेबसाइट पे जा रहा हूँ कुछ खरीदने को. मेरे वाईफाई यूज़र को वो चीज़ पता चलेगी फुल हिस्ट्री के साथ.
वाईफाई यूजर मीनिंग
मैंने से वाईफाई प्रोवाइडर, मैं किसी वाईफाई सर्विसेज ना, मेरे लोकल वाईफाई सर्विसेज के पास जाता हूँ. मैं जियो के पास जा रहा हूँ, एयरटेल के पास जा रहा हूँ, वोडाफोन के पास जा रहा हूँ, तो उनसे वाईफाई सर्विसेज मांग रहा हूँ. मैं कुछ सर्च कर रहा हूँ, whether it's on, whether it's Amazon, whether it's any website that I go on by to, उनको वो डेटा कैसे पता चलता है? पहली बात.
yes, but तो लीगली है because you're using their service to access the internet ना.
इस अगेन वो तो बट नहीं, योर बोर्ड, मैं इनकॉग्निटो मोड की बात कर रहा हूँ. मैंने से इनकॉग्निटो मोड की, जैसे एन एग्जांपल, इफ आई वांट टू बाय अ सेक्स टॉय, चलो लेट्स गो टू दैट लेवल, मेरे को एक सेक्स टॉय बाय करना है, मैं इनकॉग्निटो मोड से आके कॉन्डम्स मंगा रहा हूँ या कुछ भी मंगा रहा हूँ, जैसे कि अ वेरी पर्सनल आइटम दैट इज वेरी क्लोज टू मी, राइट? वो ट्रैकेबल नहीं होना चाहिए, राइट?
It is 100% trackable simply because incognito mode doesn't do anything to the ISP. That is only where you use ISP, internet service provider, like Airtel or Jio and so on are all internet service providers, right? When you press a button, any button on your computer, incognito, non-incognito, and so on, that doesn't do anything to the service provider. It is only telling your computer to not track. So the only benefit of incognito mode is that your own computer will not track your movement on the internet.
Okay.
But that doesn't prevent the internet service provider from tracking you. And ऐसे
कोई भी laws नहीं है where they can't put out a specific data. When I say put out, they can't record some specific data from some sites. ऐसे laws है इंडिया में कुछ भी नहीं है?
नहीं, कहीं भी नहीं है.
कहीं भी नहीं है.
No.
Not even in US.
No. Internet service providers are constantly tracking what you're doing. The laws are only there to control the extent to which they can misuse that data. See, there's nothing which will prevent an internet service provider to not collect your data. There are laws in which the internet service provider will not be able to misuse the data, right? So, for example, the internet service provider cannot sell this data to a third party saying this person visited this website at this time, right? There are laws which will prevent them from doing that. But to use their own data and to tell you to run ads for example for you, or to give you promotions, or do cross selling, upselling, and so on, there's no law that is there to prevent that from happening.
मैंने एंजल वन में अपना ब्रोकरिंग अकाउंट खुलाया था थोड़े साल पहले। मुझे सारे ब्रोकर्स के कॉल है कि मेरे पास कर लो या मेरे से बात कर लो। तो मैं ना नेक्स्ट डे उनके दुकान पे गया, मैं पूछे कि नंबर कहाँ से मिला। बोला हम लोग ने खरीदा है आपसे ना, खरीदा है नंबर। बोला कहाँ से? बोला एंजल वन से। वो कितने में खरीदा? 700 रुपीज पर कॉन्टैक्ट में उन लोग ने ये खरीदा। डेटा ब्रीच, मुझे जानना है, एक होता है डेटा ब्रीच जो जेन्युइनली हो रहा है, द कंपनी इज नॉट गिविंग आउट बट इट इज हैपनिंग स्टिल, ओके। द अदर इज कंपनी खुद ही बेचती है एक ही कॉन्टैक्ट खुद का।
So what else skill was there? Yes. So there are ways in which the subscriber, in this case you, can prevent the company from sharing this data with external agencies. This is what I was telling me. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Yes.
Right? So yes, I mean in this case, whether you are sharing data with the service provider, like in this case a brokerage service provider or a telecom service provider, or whatever, there are ways in which you can block that information from going out to a third party. Right? So there are laws against that, and you should absolutely figure it out with whoever is your the financial service provider, to find out what kind of privacy regulations are they complying. But this is very standard stuff which is locked by most laws, privacy laws, TPDP and so on.
टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हो गया या एथिकल हैकिंग हो गया, ऐसे हैकिंग नॉट फॉर अ गुड पर्पस जब हो रहा है, व्हाई इज इट हार्ड टू ट्रेस दैट? उनका लोकेशन कभी हम लोग ट्रेस क्यों नहीं कर पाते? व्हाई इज इट सो हार्ड? व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दे डू कि हम लोग कभी कभी उनका इसी लोकेशन 500 जगह पे दिखाते हैं उनका? व्हाई एग्जैक्टली इज दैट हार्ड?
नहीं यार, ऐसा नहीं है.
ओके,
See, it depends on what channels are they coming from.
ओके,
Right? So it is possible to track. It just takes a lot of time, and by the time you are able to track, the guy has left the building and left that place and so on. So I'll give you an example.
ओके,
So if, for example, if I want to make a call to you, one is that I connect to an exchange, and that exchange directly connects me to you. Right? That's one way to make a call, which is the way traditionally of making a call. But I could connect to this exchange, which then connects me to another exchange, which then connects me to third exchange, which then connects me to this fourth exchange, which then connects to you. Right? So the more number of hops I create, right? So to track every hop is a certain time. Right? So I have to, if somebody has to trace it, and that somebody has to go to the fourth one. The fourth one will say, okay, I got it from the third one. And then the third one will say, I got it from second one, and so on, until the time you get to the first exchange and then back to me, maybe a month has passed, right? And so on. And by that time I have left this location. I'm in a different country, different place, different network, everything.
wrath of Israel is wrath of God operation. So इजराइल ने जो सबसे पहला wrath of God operation किया था ना, उसमें 12 इजराइल ओलंपिक इजरायली को मारा गया था। और
I remember.
यू रिमेम्बर दैट, राइट? उन्होंने कितना इजीली ढूंढ के मारा था, और उन्होंने इतना इजीली कैसे ट्रैक कर दिया था एक एक को। एंड सेम गोज विद CIA इंटेलिजेंस, जब उन्होंने ओसामा बिन लादेन को ट्रैक किया था।
But see, these are not easy or short. See,
बट एक्यूरेसी,
the CIA took many years, right? I mean, the 9/11 happened in 2001, if I remember it right.
सी
And Osama bin Laden came in 2018 or 19,
या
at Obama years,
या
right? And so on. So it took them, let's say, 17 years odd to trace that down, right? So it's a time-consuming process. It's neither easy nor short, but it can be done.
इट कैन बी डन।
Yeah. The hackers or the terrorists or whoever are relying that by the time you get to them, they would have left the place.
What exactly is a dark web?
Dark web is a very general concept, but the underlying idea here is dark web is a place where you can anonymize your identity and still operate. So as of now, for example, if you send a message from your phone or WhatsApp, or if you access a website or whatever, right, you are traceable, and right, somebody can say, hey, you access this or you sent this message from this device to that device, right, and so on. The dark web provides an infrastructure by which people can operate on the web, but without being traced. Or let me correct that. Without traceability being either easy or quick.
डार्क वेब में ऐसा क्या इन्फो है? मीन्स लाइक वो जो एक आपके नॉर्मल इंटरनेट और हाउ टू एक्सेस डार्क वेब, आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट बोथ थिंग्स. कि मतलब मैं एज अ नॉर्मल यूजर अगर मैं अपने फ़ोन पे जाता हूँ, मैं अपने गूगल पे खोलता हूँ, सर्च करता हूँ, राइट, दैट इज़ अ नॉर्मल इंटरनेट दैट वी टॉक. डार्क वेब में कैसे घुस के ये सेम चीज़ को दूंगा जिसमें मुझे ज़्यादा डेटा मिले, ये सेम चीज़,
ज़्यादा डेटा नहीं मिलेगा, एक्चुअली कम डेटा मिलेगा.
देन व्हाई डार्क वेब?
Because
अगर
data, nobody will be able to know that you got that data. See, it is about your anonymity more than anything else. And the dark web is not a separate web; it is the same web. But if you are equivalent, yeah, it's a different way of operating. So, for example, if you have a regular computer, let's say, and a browser, and what you're doing on that computer and that browser can be related back to you. Right? Like you are this person in real life and you were using this computer and accessing this website or on sending this message and so on. Right? In the dark web, everything is still the same. In the dark web also, you can send messages, you can access sites, you can do whatever you want. The only thing that is missing is you are not trackable. Right? The most common network for accessing the dark web is called Tor. Tor.
Tor.
Yeah. So there's a Tor browser, there is a Tor network and so on. And essentially that's the easiest way. And I mean, nowadays it's as easy as just downloading and installing that browser on your phone or on your computer. And you're on the dark.
व्हाट्सएप पे वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कि जो बहुत सारे स्कैम्स होते हैं, एक लिंक दबाने से अकाउंट स्कैम्स हो जाते हैं, अकाउंट खाली हो जाता है. कैसे, हाउ डज दैट वर्क, एंड रैंडम लिंक्स पे क्यों नहीं प्रेस करना चाहिए? मेरे को वो दोनों जानना है. बिकॉज एक अनएजुकेटेड पर्सन, मतलब मैं अगर एक टीयर 3 सिटी में रह रहा हूँ एज अ फार्मर, मेरे को किसी ने बोला भाई दबा ये लिंक पे 1 लाख मिल जाएगा, मैं तो दबाऊंगा ना. बिकॉज एक्सेसिबिलिटी टू एजुकेशन इतना कम है इवन इन टीयर 1 सिटीज़ में ना. मैं दिल्ली को ही पकड़ लो, चलो दिल्ली में ना मैं पहाड़गंज में जाके रह रहा था. ठीक है, पहाड़गंज में ना इतने हाईली अनएजुकेटेड पीपल है ना, अनएजुकेशन का जो रेशियो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है वहाँ पे. मतलब इफ़ यू स्कैन देम, दे आर द मोस्ट ईजीएस्ट टू स्कैन. ओके, हाउ डज अ गवर्नमेंट नीड टू मेक श्योर कि ऐसे लोग hard earned money, hardly they will have maybe 10,000 to 1 lakh as an income for the full year, right? उन लोग के लिए ये जो डेटा स्कैम्स होता है, मतलब as soon as you press that link, how वो अकाउंट में गुजरता है एंड क्या प्रिवेंट किया जा सकता है वो चीज़?
Yeah, there are so many different ways of doing it. It's virtually impossible to list. Right? There are 10,000 different ways that you can lose your money on.
Was it a way to prevent it then?
The one thing is that the infrastructure providers, like WhatsApp itself, or the person who's providing, or the company that is providing the device, right? Let's say iPhone or Samsung or whatever, and the people who are putting in the application infrastructure, right? Like Instagram, for example, or WhatsApp, or any of these apps that one might use. So a lot of the responsibility moves to them, right? And whatever they are not able to control, then the rest can be controlled with awareness. Awareness is tough.
Very tough.
right? So absolute. It is tough. Every day I tell my mom and dad to not click on stuff that is coming on WhatsApp,
Right.
not is the whatever, right? Not don't do this, don't do this other thing, and so on. But there's an upper limit to that, right? Apparently,
They'll understand.
they will. No. I'm saying that there are so many different ways in which your phone can be breached that it's virtually impossible for you to educate your parents कि ये भी मत करो, ये भी मत करो, ये भी मत करो, ये, right? And so on. So if you keep saying there are 100 things that you have to prevent them from doing, and then you start reducing the probability of a breach.
Okay. Let's take an example. मैं एक एयरपोर्ट जाता हूँ एंड एयरपोर्ट वाईफाई यूज करता हूँ. ओके, कभी कभी नेट नहीं रहता है यार, नॉट दैट. तो मैं जाके एयरपोर्ट वाईफाई यूज कर रहा हूँ, तो मेरा जो सारा डेटा है मेरे मोबाइल में, is it gone to someone else already? Is it safe or is it not safe?
Not by default.
Oh, not by default. Okay, so like how is it possible and how it's not possible?
What was the traffic at the time you were at the airport? That data is visible.
Okay, so मैंने वहाँ पे जाके क्या बाय किया वो विजिबल है.
Yes.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that your contact information or your text messages or your WhatsApp messages will suddenly become available to the airport Wi-Fi providers.
Okay, tell me how Seclor is taking care of all these things in B2C segment and in B2B segment both. Okay, it means कैसे वो प्रिवेंट कर रहा है व्हाट्सएप स्कैम से, कैसे वो प्रिवेंट कर रहे हैं सिक्योरिटी से, वो दो चीजें कैसे वो प्रिवेंट कर रहा है.
So see, our customers are enterprises, right? So we've not made our technology available to the retail user.
ठीक है, B2C नहीं है.
B2C नहीं है.
Sure.
लेकिन हमारे जो सारे customers हैं, they use our technology to protect their customers. So for example, if you are a customer of a bank, then the bank is going to use our technology to protect your data from being breached.
Okay.
Right? So that's what we do. Now, the way we help all these large enterprises and companies is that customers, right? Let's say you have a bank account and you have an insurance policy and you have a credit card and you have a home loan and if you have let's say an electricity connection, right? So these are 5 different relationships with 5 different companies that you have, right? Now, what Seclor does is it helps each of these companies to protect any data that end users, in this case you, are sharing them, right? You might share your name, your Aadhaar card, your address, your PAN number, and so on, as a part of the relationship you have with the bank. So what Seclor does is it works with the largest financial services companies in the world to protect the data that their customers are sharing, so that your data does not go to a third party, for example, right? Like this broking example that you were giving. With Seclor, it is possible that your data doesn't leave the brokerage house. It can only be consumed internally. It cannot go to a third party, right? For example. So those are the things that we align with large enterprises.
So अभी तक सेल्स कितना किया है सर?
यार प्राइवेटली हेल्ड कंपनी है तो हम लोग रेवेन्यूज रिवील नहीं करते हैं.
नहीं कर रहा है.
Yeah, but we are, I mean, the company has been growing very well over the last 4-5 years, especially. Company's grown very well. We are now about 400 people. It was
400 people.
Spread across the board.
And will you be able to speak out how many rounds you have raised?
Oh yeah. So we raised 3 rounds of capital.
That is amount to?
Once again,
When I say amount to, when I say the valuations and the amount that you have created,
the total amount of capital that the company has raised is in the $50 million range.
Crazy. Okay. And over the period of time, that is 3 rounds, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay, 3 rounds. Okay. 3 rounds जो आपने रेस किए वो कैपिटल डिप्लॉयमेंट तो ऑब्वियसली हुआ रहेगा उसका, राइट? लेकिन इसका जो टोटल एड्रेसेबल मार्केट ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड में एंड इंडिया एज अ प्लेयर इसे स्टैंड आउट कर रहा है. आई वांट टू नो दैट कि कितना टोटल एड्रेसेबल मार्केट है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डॉलर्स एंड इंडिया में कितना उसका मार्केट है.
Yeah, we are going after the data security space. So the cyber security, there are various.
Okay, so data security is a whole different thing, and cyber security is a whole different.
So data security is a part of cyber security.
Okay,
Right. So in cyber securities, the other things are you could be spending money and die to protect your device, right? Like antivirus systems, for example.
Okay.
Or device technology.
So cyber security is the whole device, and
No. Cyber security is everything.
okay, cyber security is everything.
Within cyber security, there is device security, there's network security, there's application security.
Upfront.
Within that, we are a specialist in data security.
डेटा सिक्योरिटी तो अब डेटा सिक्योरिटी में क्या सर्विसेज होते हैं मींस आप डेटा को किसी वेबसाइट से शेयर नहीं होने देते हो इंटरनेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर से शेयर नहीं होने देते
All of that, right? So within data security, we do everything.
how do you do that like when you say data security as a business I'm talking about एक नॉर्मल बिजनेस मॉडल को अगर मुझे स्टडी करना है डेटा सिक्योरिटी को जैसे कि एग्जांपल आज मैं गया किसी वेबसाइट पे मैंने अमेजोन से एक मॉनिटर बाई किया वो सिर्फ अमेजोन के पास वो इन्फो रहेगा वो किसी और के पास न जाए दैट्स व्हाट यू प्रोटेक्ट
One of the things. Okay. So within data security, we do everything, right? So there are enterprises who don't even know where their data is. So we help them discover the data. Then they want to be able to segregate highly confidential data with public data, right? So for example, in the retail example of let me complete this and then I'll give you an example. Right? So for example, there are confidential messages that you have on your email or your WhatsApp, for example. And then there's public messages that you have, right? So the confidential messages you want to protect, but the public messages you don't care too much about, correct? Then once you've identified that these are the three messages that are confidential, now you want a mechanism to protect these three, right? And then once you protected those messages of that data, then you want a mechanism by which it can be tracked and audited, right? So this data discovery, data classification, data protection, and data compliance, right? So Secure does all of these for large enterprises.
तो व्हाट्सएप पे ना ऊपर एक मैसेज लिख के आता है डेटा प्राइवेसी क्या ऊपर राइट हाउ टू चूज दैट ट्रू सर मेरे को जानना है इट इज एपिसोड 2 है मेरे हिसाब से किसी भी हद तक
No, ऐसा नहीं है. मतलब it is true, but it depends on what is your idea of privacy. See, privacy is if you want to make sure that hey, whatever messages are there, your friend sitting next to you should not be able to see it and so on. That technology achieves that purpose. If your idea of privacy is that whatever messages you're exchanging, let's say the government of India or the investigative agencies in India should not be able to see that messages, it doesn't achieve that goal. So if the government of India suspects that you are a terrorist, they will be able to see it.
सो मतलब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया आज बैठ के भले बस इवन इफ आई एम जस्ट अ सस्पेक्ट मैं किसी के नज़र में आ गया उनको मेरे पे शक है इवन इफ आई एम नॉट अ टेररिस्ट मैं जाके किसी का भी मैसेज खोल सकता हूँ एज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और एनी गवर्नमेंट ऑल ओवर द
For most government, yes, but ऐसा नहीं कि किसी भी बोला obvious the facts के साथ you are very formal processes, right? And you need the equivalent of a warrant, right? Not a warrant, but an equivalent of a warrant to be able to do this.
व्हाट आर क्यूआर कोड स्कैम्स सर मैंने बहुत सारे क्यूआर कोड स्कैम्स भी देखे हैं मतलब लाइक सो हाउ एग्जैक्टली दैट वर्क्स
QR code scams are, QR codes are nothing but encoded information.
यस
Right? Now, in a QR code, you can embed a URL. For example, instead of sending you a link, I can send you a QR code. Right? Similarly, when you're making a payment when you're scanning a QR code on any of the payment services, right? Now, that QR code is nothing but a URL. It's a link, right? It's a link. So, using that link, I can redirect you to any website. So I can build a QR code which will redirect you to a scammed website. I can build a QR code which can get you to access a malicious application, right? And so a QR code is nothing special. It's just basically a method of transmitting information.
यू आर राइट मैं जब एक PDF फाइल खोलता हूँ ना इफ इट इज़ नॉट प्रोटेक्टेड तो मुझे एक नोटिफिकेशन आता है कि इट माइट बी नॉट एनक्रिप्टेड या ऐसे कुछ या राइट आता है कि ओपन करने से पहले tells me कि ये शायद हो सकता है कुछ, it might affect your call. Same QR code के साथ ऐसा क्यों नहीं होता?
नहीं होता है ना,
होता है?
yeah, absolutely. The QR codes can be, so when I came into the studio to access the internet, there is a QR code, right? Now that QR code, which is right here, right? Now that QR code could be a scam QR code, right? So using that QR, as soon as I click, whatever, scan that QR code, I can be redirected to a malicious website. That's totally possible and it happens all the time actually.
Okay. So मैंने बीच में एक चीज बहुत मिस कर दी. What was the valuation of the company? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a privately company, so you don't share that, especially. That's no issues.
But are there any plans to go public? है ऐसे plans?
No, it's in the foreseeable future.
Why so?
Yeah, the running a public
Expectations, right?
that is also true, and I think running a public company requires the company to be at a certain level of stability. Right?
Yes.
In our case, we are very, very rapidly growing company.
Okay.
We are expanding into new markets. We are expanding into new product areas and so on. Last week we released the capability to protect all kinds of engineering drawing formats. What engineering drawings? Like I don't know if you heard of computer-aided design, CAD, CAD and CAM and so on, right? These are AutoCAD. I don't know if you've heard of them. These are software which will help you design a machine or your home, or like it will help you simulate chemical reaction and so on, right? So a lot of companies, intellectual property is in the form of these designs, right? So we just release capabilities to protect those designs because they are again highly valuable intellectual property.
Okay.
And so on. So in our case, we are just growing very, very rapidly at this stage, and the plan is to continue to grow
The way it is.
At some point of time, we will reach, a little more steady state than we are in currently, and that's when we will start thinking of going up.
Nice. Because this is a very interesting category to invest in. That I can say.
Yes.
Because whatever it is, वो rapidly जब grow करता है, I know the profits might affect it, but that's not important, right? At the end of the day, it is more than sustainability. When you see an opportunity, you should take that. That's what even I think.
Yeah. So that's what we are doing, Yash. Although we've been able to do that in a very, very cash efficient manner. So we are not burning lakhs and crores of rupees and so on, or dollars to achieve the kind of growth rates we have. Right? We've been able to do that very, very efficiently.
Okay, so इस company में सबसे बड़े worldwide competitors कौन है? Only in your sector, that is
Our sector, I would say that some of the largest companies in this space, and we don't always compete with these companies head on. थोड़ा overlap है, थोड़ा complementarity है, थोड़ा सा whatever. Indirect competition would be Microsoft, for example, is one of our largest competitor in that sense. And then there are many others. I mean, we track 6 to 7 very active competitors, and then there's a long tail of 20 or 30 more. Microsoft being the largest.
मैंने ये हर जिसके साथ में मैं पॉडकास्ट करता हूँ एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, मैं हमेशा ये चीज़ पूछता हूँ, व्हेनेवर अमेरिका थिंक्स टू बिल्ड अ स्टार्टअप, आप शार्क टैंक यूएस ही देख लो, दे थिंक ऑफ बिल्डिंग टू द वर्ल्ड, राइट? इंडिया में वो माइंडसेट क्यों नहीं है? जब हम
itself, right? So we started as a incubation program at IIT Bombay. Today we have governments in 11, maybe 12 countries around the world where the government uses our product.
the government is using your product.
Governments which are not, and Indian government also uses our product, but the government uses our product.
That's crazy.
United Nations uses our product. Some of the largest manufacturing and financial services companies in the world, the likes of American Express, for example, of Ford and GM and so on, General Motors and so on, they all use our product, right? So Seclo is a great example of exactly the opposite of what you're saying, right? So number one, that is the case. There are some businesses, the kind of businesses that you see in Shark Tank are businesses where there is so much local demand for those businesses that the need for scaling up outside of India comes very late in those companies. Right? If you consider companies like Swiggy or Zomato or Flipkart or a lot of these large companies, India is such a large and vibrant market that you don't need to scale outside. It's 1.5 billion people, nearly 1.4 billion people.
Again, I'll deny this fact. So very widely, I'll deny this fact. You know, right? Kishore Biyani ने एक बहुत मस्त fact बोला था about India 1, India 2 and India 3, and I widely agree to it right now. Is because this wide range of spending power. India 1 में ना सिर्फ 12 करोड़ लोग हैं. बाकी यहाँ पे India 2 और India 3 में जिनका इनकम साल में सिर्फ 10,000 से 2 lakhs के बीच में रेंज करता है.
You talk about India 2 or India 3?
Purely India 3, chalo, okay. Jidhar the biggest market exists, okay. India 3, okay. Jidhar the biggest markets exist for India. मतलब अभी आप Zomato का एग्जांपल दे रहे थे, राइट? Zomato का जो ऑर्डर वैल्यू है ना, वो कितना रहेगा? वो 412 रुपये पे मैंने लास्ट टाइम शायद चेक किया था उसका. एंड उनका EPS डिलीवरी एंड पूरा सब कुछ निकाल के 0.12 कुछ बचता है, okay, with the discounts and everything. So when you say 1.4 billion people, it's actually, so according to even Goldman Sachs, उनके रिपोर्ट में ये चीज कि it's not that big of a market. It's only the first tier 1 cities that are consuming the 80% of resources.
And I was making a different point, which is that there are enough companies in India which are serving the world. Right? When you look at large services companies or today large product companies, there are amazing companies like Infosys and TCS and Wipro and so on who are servicing the whole world, right? So it is possible to start a company in India and scale for the world, right? That's been proven. Now there were services companies, but even if you look at today, product vendors, right? And Seclo is an example, but there are many other companies, product companies, which started in India and now has scaled to the whole world, right? Freshworks, for example. I mean, I know of a lot of companies, but there are lots of companies in that space. It's just that retail establishment, the B2C companies have not scaled outside of India very, very easily, right? Zomato, I think, has a lot of presence outside of India, and I know that in the Middle East they are present. And so on. But B2C companies, the point that I was trying to make is that B2C companies need for scaling to outside of India comes very late in life, right? Because even if you say only 12 crore लोग हैं और जो 400 रुपये per person का order दे रहे हैं and so on, once you do all that math, that absolute value is so large that by the time you capture that market, you're already $1 billion company.
You're already $1 billion company, but catering to only what?
You are catering to only 20% of the country, but the population is so large that 20% of India is still bigger than most other countries in the world. Right? The urban population of India, right, is already bigger than most other countries' total population.
Okay.
Right? That is a possible.
हाँ, agreed. US का जो fundamental way है to grow a startup, and India का जो fundamental way है to grow a startup. US जब एक startup grow होता है US में, वो लोग research पे सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा खर्च करते हैं, research and data protection. Indian companies में वैसा नहीं है. In fact, Indian companies में marketing budgets तक problem हो जाता है. तो I want to know, again, keeping the data safe to you. You are into US right now, you are into India right now. Which companies are spending more and किधर सबसे ज़्यादा scams हो रहे हैं in which countries? Okay, wherever is your location is, if you are in Middle East, if you are in US, if you are in Europe, and if you are in India, are Indian companies, after getting scammed, Are they spending that much, or they just don't care of their data?
No, it's not true. Yeah. I think Indian companies are equal, if not ahead, of their US counterparts. So if you look at, for example, information security budgets as a percentage of revenue, right? So if a company's revenue is say $100 or 100 rupees, let's say 1 lakh rupees, right? Just to make the math simple. And if you're a bank, right, for example, you would typically end up spending about, I would say, 80 rupees on security.
Out of like, if the budget you're talking about is 1,000, then
If it's a lakh, then 800 rupees. Yes. Chalo, theek hai, right? That is, so if take the largest bank in the country,
okay.
and their revenues, let's say you put it as 1 lakh rupees, then if their revenue, not profit, but revenue is 1 lakh rupees, then their information security spend is typically 800 rupees.
That is low.
Sorry?
That is a bit low.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
So, what is an average US company spending?
That's what I was saying. It's not very, right? The average American bank in this case will end up spending 800 rupees only. Right? So, as a percentage of revenue, Indian companies are not underspending or overspending on security and compliance. Right? They're kind of in the same range. Now, once you go down that chart, which is if you look at the
MSM.
mid to small size banks, about the mid to small size manufacturing companies, over there you start seeing both take the bigger difference. Right? Like a small size bank may not be spending any amount on security, or they might be spending like 50 rupees out of 1 lakh instead of 800, right? And on security. So at the smaller end of the spectrum, you'll see big differences in spending and awareness of security and compliance. But at the upper end of the spectrum, there's virtually no difference.
एक स्टार्टअप इंडिया में आज खोलना प्रॉफिटेबल है या अपॉर्चुनिस्टिक है, या एक यूएस में ज़्यादा स्टार्टअप की अपॉर्चुनिटी ज़्यादा है?
Yeah, I would say either or both. I think it depends on the context of the startup, right? The one thing that I can see always as a rule is that you need to be close to your customers. So if your primary customer base is, let's say, rural India, then I would say you should be in rural India yourself, right? If your primary customer base is American enterprises, then you should be in the US. Similarly, right? So you should be in the context of your customers. Is the one thing that I could say. And outside of that, there are no rules. There are very, very successful companies in the US, very successful companies in India. There is no pattern there at all.
जॉब इंडिया में मुझे कॉर्पोरेट में करना चाहिए या स्टार्टअप में?
That's a tough one to answer. I would say the startups offer a much better vantage point.
What do you mean by vantage point?
Meaning you can observe the complete company in a startup. Whereas in a large enterprise, you tend to see a very thin slice of the company, right? So early on in your career, you are better off working for a startup because they will expose you to how sales is done, how engineering is done, how marketing is done, how finance runs, and so on. You get exposure to a lot of things, and then you can figure out what works. Maybe that broad aperture works better for you, or you might want to go do the stability of a large company later on. So I would say in the 0 to even 10 years range, at assuming an average graduate is say 22 years, right? I would say in the 0 to 8 years, 0 to 10 years range, people should experiment with startups a little more.
You see yourself as a startup or a corporate as a company?
How do you distinguish between these two? A company, we've been around for 10, maybe 12 years,
Yeah.
and so on. So I would say we are somewhere in the middle. I mean, we have presence in across 6-7 countries, our own presence, and then we have customers in about 40 countries and so on. So that makes us a mature startup, let's say. Well,
He's ready to vote at it.
yeah, mature startup. That's a pretty good description.
Tell me,
एक स्टार्टअप का एनवायरनमेंट कैसा रहना चाहिए. व्हेन आई से एनवायरनमेंट, आई एम ट्राइंग टू कीप इट वेरी क्रिस्प विथ यू कि टू मेक इट अ सक्सेसफुल स्टार्टअप, इसमें ये सो व्हेन आई फील्ड एज अ पर्सन बीइंग इन अ स्टार्टअप, मैं एक स्टार्टअप को बराबर से नहीं चला पाया. सो मैंने इम्पोर्टेंस समझा विजन का और वैल्यूज़ का. ये दो चीज़ हमेशा ड्राइव करती है. व्हेन यू सेड कि फ्रॉम 12 इयर्स और 10 इयर्स यू आर ड्राइविंग द कंपनी वेयर यू वांटेड, दो चीज़ें पक्की है और बहुत क्लियर है, इज विजन एंड वैल्यूज़. वो दो चीज़ से अगर एज अ को फाउंडर आप नहीं हटते हो, is I've understood कि your company is gonna be successful no matter what the hurdles are.
Thank you.
What as a secular you have been consistent of in terms of vision, like to make it the biggest or make it whatever you want, and what are the values?
So vision has been very clear and it has not changed from day one. Yeah, our vision is to protect the world's data. Right, very simple.
ठीक है.
And we have been executing on that mission vision for the last 12 years, right? So that's never changed. Value systems change over a period of time. In our case, we've incorporated our core value systems into basically the value people who spread positivity, right? The idea is as a company, you as a person, you create a company so that it has a positive influence on people around you. Right? Those people could be customers or should be customers, investors, employees, partners, and so on, right? The whole ecosystem. You want to have a positive impact. So that's one of the core values of the company, right? That you want to create a positive impact on the environment around us, right? We want to be people who are not afraid of taking entrepreneurial risk, which means that if there is something which has never been done before, we don't look for precedences, right? We are not doing this because somebody else has tried this and been successful in another geography, right? So you're not saying, hey, we are the Indian version of something which has already worked in the US, right? Or we are not the Indian version of I don't Uber, or Indian version of Amazon, or Indian version of something else, right? So we don't look for precedences. We are doing this thing because it makes sense, right? And it sometimes makes sense because it has not been done before, and sometimes it makes sense because it has been done before and people have succeeded in doing that, right? And so on. So these are some of the core values for the company, and those values have changed over a period of time. But the vision to protect the world's information, right, that has not changed.
Tell me one thing, and when I was a co-founder, मैं नारायण मूर्ति से बहुत एग्री करता था ऑफ नो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस. सो ये असल है को फाउंडर एंड एम्प्लॉई के बीच में कि मैं एक्स्ट्रा काम क्यों करूँ. एक चीज़, मेरा कोई एक वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस है, एंड एज अ को फाउंडर आई बिलीव दैट देयर शुड बी नो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस बिकॉज आप अपने सपने के लिए काम कर रहे हो. आई फील दैट बिकॉज फॉर 3 years और 2 years straight आई हैव नेवर सीन सैटरडेज एंड संडे. इमीडिएटली जब मैं जॉब पे शिफ्ट हुआ, मैंने सैटरडे संडेज और ब्रेक्स दिखना चालू कर दिए, एंड दैट वाज अ लाइक अ बोनस फॉर मी कि क्या हो गया यार, ये ऐसे बोनस फॉर मी, मतलब बाप रे, मतलब इट वाज सो गुड फॉर मी. बट इवन इफ माय बॉस टेल्स मी टुडे कि 1 घंटा ज़्यादा काम कर ले ये चीज़ के लिए, if I had to know that I'm not getting paid, then I won't even work for a minute. And that's what I agree to. What's your take on that? Because work-life balance होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए?
यार वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस होना चाहिए. और मेरे हिसाब से इतना बड़ा जो डिस्टिंक्शन है कि आइदर यू आर द को फाउंडर और यू आर एन एम्प्लॉई एंड देयर इज नथिंग इन द मिडल, आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स ट्रू. There are lots of early employees, there are lots of people who have ownership or feel a sense of ownership of the company and who are going well beyond their state जो job description है, well beyond that to make the company successful. At Secure, we have hundreds of such people who go beyond their regular call of duty, not because they're getting paid extra for their spending that hour extra and so on, but because they believe that there is a mission and we need to achieve that mission. So between the co-founder, as you have enumerated, and the employee, as you know, there is a gray scale over there, and it's not black or white, right? So in my opinion, there are lots of people who do the work not always because they're going to get paid that, some extra money and so on. Money itself becomes stuff becoming a driver beyond a point. Yes, right, and so on. So I think there's a need for work-life balance, but it is not as stark as what you may have experienced.
वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस हो गया एक जगह पे when you so this came from Jeff Bezos, okay, and I'm a big follower of these US entrepreneurs because I love them because they don't care what they talk on stage. That's what I love about entrepreneurs. They don't care. But as Indian entrepreneurs who बहुत sophisticated रहते, the old age entrepreneurs when I talk about, right, not the new age like Dipender Goyal or even the Swiggy CEO, but entrepreneurs like Narayan Murthy. So एक behavior कैसा रहना चाहिए co-founder का towards employees, because when you are a co-founder आप बहुत lonely होते हो. You can't share your feelings because अगर आप as a person is not there for your team, आप उनको बता नहीं रहे हो, आप हर एक डिपार्टमेंट के साथ उतना टाइम स्पेंड नहीं कर पा रहे हो या स्पेंड नहीं कर रहे हो. इट सीम लाइक अ गवर्नमेंट एज अ लीडर, राइट? सो मैं वही जानना चाहता हूँ कि एक सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर को कौन से डिपार्टमेंट्स में बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देना चाहिए वेल इट्स इन साइबर सिक्योरिटी.
Again, yeah, my experience is that distinction that you're making is not as clear, right, between a co-founder and an employee. And even if that distinction is clear to start with, maybe in the first 1 year, that distinction might be very clear that, hey, I'm the co-founder and you are the employee and so on. Over a period of time, in good companies, that distinction vanishes, right? So there is the distinction between, hey, I'm one of the founders of the company, therefore I will behave a different way and I will spend 24 hours, right, and so on. And you are the employee of the company, so you are going to get paid this much and you're going to spend that much time and so on. That differences over a period of time vanish. And in fact, if they don't vanish, it's a problem, right? If you cannot enroll more people in your vision, if your vision is to build the world's best bakery, for example, right? And if you can't enroll other people in that vision, that they should also now start thinking of how to be a part of a story which says, hey, I want to build the world's best bakery, right? And so on. Then you anyway is going to lose those people, right? Because the risks of a startup are 100x versus working for a large company, right? And so on. So why should somebody take a risk? You cannot enroll them in, and you're not paying them a terrible more, right? If they are making $100 in a large company, right? Maybe with stock options and so on, you might be able to get it down to 120, maybe 150, right? It's not that they're making $100 working for a large company and now they're making $1,000. Usually that kind of ratios don't work.
So you believe in ESOPs?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I think they're really right.
So a lot of co-founders वो अपना बहुत सारा stake अपने पास ही रखना चाहते हैं and they don't believe कि, but I feel rather than I earn 100 rupees on 100% stake, rather than I earn on 10% stake, I earn 1,000 rupees. I believe in that part of the cake, but rather than the bigger part of the cake.
But if that is the way they think, that if they don't want to share the wealth, then they will end up having these differential behaviors that you described, right? कि मैं तो co-founder हूँ और तुम employee हो, तो मैं तो 24 घंटे काम करूँगा, तुम 8 घंटे काम करो, right? And so on. If that distinction has to go away in every way, in the number of hours you work, the amount of dedication you have, the amount of sign up that you have for the vision or mission of the company, and also how much equity you own in the company, right? As a co-founder, if I own 20% of the company or 30% of the company, and as an employee you earn 0%, obviously it's just logically it will turn on to be that you will start behaving like an employee, right? Absolutely.
Thank you for coming today. Seriously,
My pleasure.
because today the kind of questions that I wanted to ask बहुत easily मैं convey कर पा रहा था उसको, and you had some facts coming out to you. You know